Okay. Okay, everyone. Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. We're all here today, evening, all to talk about boredom. And I'm looking at this and saying, how boring is this on a Saturday evening? All of you are collected over here to watch this daily, this weekly webinar. Don't you have anything less boring to do? This is so boring. Every Saturday you come here and you just collect with me to speak the same thing, to hear the same thing. Isn't that so boring? Oh well. Okay. So today, as anybody wants to say anything, I heard some noises. Okay. So today, as we discuss the concept of boredom itself, we'll first start off with, some of the people who constantly say to us, oh, we are so bored, oh, we are so bored, our children. And so whenever we are with children, and we are almost dreading to hear when it will be that their attention span is finished over whatever they are doing, and then they only have one thing to say, oh, we are so bored, oh, we are so bored. When when you hear children say that to you, starting off only with the bad throat. Give me a minute. Okay. So anyways, as we hear the children tell us all the time, we are bored, we are bored. And what does it produce in us? For me, that's always the first place to address, the first place to go to. As you listen to your children getting bored, so many times you'll give them long lectures about how in your days they didn't have so much of entertainment outside, they didn't have so much to do, and yet here they're the ones getting bored, and you could happily entertain yourself. Well, all of your long lectures don't help them, because they've come with their own energy field, they've come with their own experiences. As you are listening to them constantly telling you about how bored they are, the experience over here that they are possibly receiving is that of lack. Possibly they are receiving the lack experience. What is the lack all about? The lack is about the attention that they want from you. Yes, they are seeking attention from you. And for that, I'm bored, I am bored. As they say this, and before the next time when it happens, and before you launch into this long explanation of how they need to be more self sufficient, blah, 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 anything that you say is not going to have an impact because you haven't first looked within. What is it that you have to look into? When they are bored and when they come and tell you that, what is it that you are feeling? Are you feeling as frustrated as they are? Then understand that the frustration that you are feeling is going to walk to them. Yeah, they're going to feel the same thing, even more, even though they've come to you for solution, but you are not providing the solution in the energy. You are simply providing them an alternate action. At this point in time, now that we are constantly talking energy, now is a good opportune moment for you to introduce them to energies as well. How do you do that? What do you say to them? They're already bored. If you want to talk energy, they will go into more boredom, isn't it? For that reason, you have to first look at your judgments. For that reason, you have to first look at all the stuff that you are feeling and only then suggest something to them. And again, as you suggest something to them, maybe you should look at the energy. Maybe right now you want to release your boredom into the candle. That's all. Just release the boredom into the candle. That's the extra step. that I'm asking you from now onwards to do. As somebody tells you, one of your children tells you that they are bored, as they come to you for, okay, you've got to do something more for me. I don't know what to do. I'm getting so bored. It's your responsibility. As you look at all of these, you know, all of these statements and comments that they are making, firstly check within to see what is it that you are feeling. Only when you worked on yourself, after you've worked on yourself, only then can you actually make any energy wise positive contribution. Why is that necessary? Only because if they are sitting in lack, seeking your attention, then even if you give them the attention, the lack isn't over. You haven't addressed the lack part. So today I'm asking you, when they come to you, firstly you address yourself and then show them how they can actually simply release the lack. What will it do you have to change all course of action? Should you not do anything together with them? Should you not give them the attention that they are seeking? You're already doing all of that. You can continue to do that still, but you're adding one more extra step, and that extra step is about pointing them to the energy that they are holding. Not just in boredom. When you point them to the energy that they are holding, it's going to start helping them already. And now, before you take the credit of how you're going to shift their life, let me again remind you, they are their own energy field. If they listen to your suggestions, they shift, it's because their energy wants to shift. If they listen to your suggestions and don't shift, it's because their energy doesn't wish to shift right now. But yet, what you have given to them is a tool that they can, when their energy is ready to shift, this tool is already with them to shift their energy. It doesn't matter what they do today, what they do as you tell them. What you are doing is bringing them more to the energy of abundance, to the energy of masti. Give me 1 second. I think there's something, the problem with my. Okay, all right. There's something, the problem with my WhatsApp, because it keeps making noises on my computer. Okay. So as we were talking about it, saying, how can you introduce your children to this energy concept, especially when they are bored? To understand that boredom is coming, as I said, either from this place of wanting attention, and that would be wanting attention from an outside tool. You've become that outside tool, and now they wish to get attention from you. Doesn't it happen to all of us? We all wish to get attention from somebody outside or another. And what is it that we have to constantly remind ourselves about? The game is within. All of the creation is within. Every aspect that we are looking outside to fulfill, there exists nobody outside. All the answers are within. And so if we are feeling the lack, if we are looking for attention from outside, it simply means that we have to give that same attention within first. It's us, it's our energy that's showing us we are incomplete. We are not incomplete, but the energy that we are sitting in, that dissatisfaction, the energy of dissatisfaction that we are sitting in, the energy of incomplete that we are sitting in, that's the one that is bringing this boredom to us. Sometimes boredom is also just a little bit of a prelude to sadness. You feel sad and then you can't identify with your emotion. So even as you are sitting and chatting with your child, now that you understand the energy work, don't go just with the words that the child is speaking. As you and I know, the words are simply 1%. They belong to the body and they can be anything. But as you listen to the words, try and gauge the energy. How to gauge the energy? Well, it's an answer, right? You're seeking an answer from their energy. So, firstly, to seek an answer, what is it that you will do? You will sit in the frequency of answers. All the answers are available in my frequency, and that's a simple one for you. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. As you sit in the frequency of these answers, automatically you will receive the underlying energy from which these words are being born. I am bored. Don't pay attention to the words. Don't even pay attention to what you need to do next for you to give more attention, for you to play another game with them, for you to engage them more. No, firstly, gauge the energy that they're coming from, and then be in guidance. Be in guidance. Release your role of a mother or a father. Whatever your role is, you can easily release that once you understand. As soon as you understand that they are not children, they have an energy field, and it's their energy field of discontentment, dissatisfaction that's playing out right now. When you give away the role of the mother father, you can take on the role of a guide in the true sense. The guide only being that person who's able to sit in the answers and give them the answer that they are seeking. That's the difference between advising and guiding. When we give an advice to somebody, we give it from our own experience. When somebody comes and asks you, what should I do in this situation? This is my problem, whatever problem they are facing. And what do you tend to do? You tend to relate it to your life. And if you've had the same problem, and then how you've dealt with it. You tend to forget that they have their own energy field and you have yours. The answer that's right for you might not be the right answer for anyone, including your children. And so, oh, these are my children, they are my responsibility. Getting away from that limiting thought of the body. They're only your children in the body, in this life, in this very limited energy experience that you are having. And so, as you release this role of a parent, now you can take on the bigger role of a guide. As a guide, you don't give them advice depending on how your childhood was, how your life has been. No, as a matter of fact, when we look at ourselves as a guide, all that we do is simply tune in to the frequency of guidance. And from the guidance, whatever answers come, they are the right answers for the person in front of you. This time, right now, what we are talking about would be your children sitting in front of you, seeking a response for them being bored. As you look at their boredom, the other piece that we sometimes tend to think that when boredom happens, it's largely because gratitude is absent. We are focusing on something that we don't have. We right now don't have entertainment. We don't have anything of value to keep our mind occupied. And then, as we focus so much on that dissatisfaction, we are forgetting easily to put our focus on all the things that create satisfaction in us on a daily basis. So, if the children come to you, even before you engage them, doing the activity with them is always the last solution. Right now, it's always been your first one. But now, as I tell you, the first answers from the energy, and then you do whatever action comes to you. Whatever action comes to you will be the right action. But now, in awareness, you would have helped them tap into their energies a little bit more to be able to see what their energies have to offer, what their energies have to offer to them. So, what were we talking about? Yes, we were talking about being in the space with them, being their guide, not immediately jumping into action, not even suggesting a couple of things. You can do this, you can do that, you can change your mind, you can be another, you can do another activity. All of these are actions, but before you do that, add this extra step. Ask them to release their boredom into the candle. And as they release their boredom into the candle, now next, ask them to create gratitude for themselves. Gratitude is the opposite of dissatisfaction. It is the opposite of all that we create on the lack side. We don't have, we don't have. The minute our focus shifts to gratitude, no matter what we do, we will enjoy it more. We will actually have a better time playing with them being engaged in any activity. And so, with that, these are the solutions from the energy perspective. I'm not changing anything. I'm telling you, your children need to do activity. It's a lot of pent up energy that they are holding. But the energy frequency which creates boredom is that of dissatisfaction. And so, if they don't release it today, you will help them through with their dissatisfaction by creating something engaging for them. But that doesn't mean that the energy of dissatisfaction that they are sitting with has been cleared. No, it doesn't mean that at all. That would have to be released in awareness. When they see it, they would have to recognize it. And today could be a good starting point for them to be doing this. So, with the end of, when children get bored, what should we do? Now we come to our own boredom. In our life, we experience boredom in so many different ways. Sometimes it's the job that we are in that creates so much boredom for us. Sometimes it's the person, it's a relationship, and that's creating boredom. There's nothing new in the relationship. And here again, what haven't we done? We haven't looked within. That same relationship, it's going on and on for years, it's got nothing new left. Yeah, it's not meant to. It was simply a tool for your joy for a little bit. That's it. It gave you joy, but that's not where the role is limited to. When something is outside of you and you expect that from the outside, all the joy will come for you, well, that's where the equation is a little bit wonky. The joy is within, and that's what creates outside joys. Somebody has to become a tool for your joy, and that's all that they are. But what do? We peg all our joy, all our expectations on these people. The more we do that, the more we are opening up ourselves for different kind of experiences. What kind of experiences they be? Well, of course, we know that the more we look outside for joy, the more we are creating attachments outside of us, the more we are looking at expectations outside of us, then at some point in time, those expectations will be broken. So I already, many a times through many webinars, I'm constantly pointing in this direction that if you are sitting in expectation, then the love that you are giving is conditional. And we have to, again, turn the finger within to say, if I have expectations, let me first see what all I have created for myself. As you uncreate for yourself, as you release those expectations, firstly, that unconditional love itself will come to you. That is the first place where all of that unconditional love will be sent. And then what happens? From that space, anybody and everybody who comes in connect with you, the ones who are now no longer where your expectations are pegged. If you are not expecting from them, then only the love becomes unconditional. So we can start this process. Many people come to me and say, no, I've been giving unconditional love to them forever. And yet they are not changing. Why are they not changing? I've given so much unconditional love. Well, the very expectation that an outside person should change, that's an expectation. And that itself is a result that you are seeking. And what do we say? Whenever we peg ourselves to outcomes, again, attachment, expectation, and could be hurt. When those attachments are broken, when those expectations are broken, when those outcomes are not received, then hurt, and hurt. So, all the time looking within to see where all are we holding these expectations and letting go. As we do that, we will find that the boredom that we feel in those relationships will start to lift off as well. Why? Of course, the boredom was never outside. That discontentment, never outside. It was always within. That dissatisfaction, that incompleteness was only within. And as you give more unconditional love to yourself, more unconditional love to yourself without judging yourself, the more you will find that this boredom lifts. It is taken instead, the place is taken instead by ananda, by masti, by joy, by abundance. When there is joy inside, when there is abundance inside, no matter what we are doing, it could be the usual activity every single day that we do. Even if it's doing the dishes, you will find that when you are in joy, the dishes get done faster. When you are in joy, the dishes look brighter. They don't even come in as something that, oh God, so many hundred dishes to be done again. You will enjoy doing the dishes because you are sitting in the energy of joy. The boredom is not from an outside activity being repetitive. No, the boredom is simply a frequency that you keep tuning into now and then. When the boredom persists, again and again, I point out, when the boredom persists, take a look. Is there a deeper cause? Is there some kind of sadness? Because sometimes when you think that you are simply bored, when you have no interest in the outside, when everything seems just, yeah, it's so dumb, there's nothing outside, I can't find anything joyful outside. If you can't find anything joyful outside, it could be that you're sitting in that frequency that's opposite of joy, and that being sadness. So if you're sitting in sadness, again, to go deeper and deeper into the source of sadness, we all carry a lot of sadness. And what I have found, in my journey, in all of these years, that the sadness keeps coming back again and again. So the last time when I was sitting in guidance about this topic, about the topic of sadness, and I asked, what is this? I don't seem to have anything that should bring me sadness. Even tuning into this frequency and so deeply feeling this sadness, what is it all about? And the answer simply came, that's because you think you are separate from the source. The place where you became separate from the source, that's where a lot of sadness collected. You almost felt as if you were being released. Your energy was taking the life form. But the understanding that you got from that entire event happening in the energy is that you are separating from the source. In that moment, you forgot that you are the source. And so, as you go deeper and deeper into this understanding, into this knowing that you are the source, I am the source. In that moment, the sadness will lift. The sadness belongs to this event that happened in the energy when we separated from what we think is the energy of bliss. But we forget that no matter where we go, we are the bliss. We are in this moment where we need to be. We are here in the now. This is where bliss is. The more you understand that, and bliss is not outside. The bliss doesn't happen because something is happening outside that will put you into bliss. No, the bliss just simply is. It's all about existence. You exist, you, you exist, and in you exists the bliss. It's a frequency that you tune into in awareness, the frequency of blankness. And so we do that all the time, well, or at least some of the times, or more and more, we sit in the frequency of blankness. But that blankness, that is blankness as well, but that blankness doesn't hold boredom. When we are looking at boredom, we feel that same blankness, but the blankness is heavy. It doesn't feel like joy to us. It feels the opposite. It feels sadness. This blankness that I talk about, again, empty. Everything is empty. Everything is as pointless as it can be, but it's empty in a joyful way. It's blank in a joyful way. It's purposeless in a very joyful way. And when we sit in this purposelessness, That doesn't hold boredom. So take a look. The next time you are bored, take a look within. What started you off on this? Is there any sadness that you might be missing out on? Take a look at that sadness and let go. And again, as I said, how do we let go? Simply by coming to this place of I am the source, I am bliss at all times. Be centered on this, having, knowing, rather than on the other part, not having, not knowing. These two are choices. They're just choices, choices of where you will put your attention to, choices of where you will put your thought to. Nothing else is needed, only your attention, your focus on joy instead of sadness. When you're failing, when you're facing boredom, then only putting all your attention on all that you have rather than on what you don't have. When you look at what you don't have, that discontentment bound to create boredom. Outside, you will seek something, seek excitement. You seek excitement with people outside. If this relationship is not working out well, let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next. Every relationship of yours, you are taking one constant thing with you: yourself, your energy. So as you take a look now at your relationship that's looking so boring to you, understand that that boredom is within you. It's not about the outside at all. Even if you change this one, yes, the next relationship might bring you a lot of joy initially, but if it's your same energy, you're going to find that something or the other outside will shift. And now that same thing that was bringing you so much joy will no longer bring you joy. It might bring you some more boredom. Might bring you some more frustration. Well, it depends on what your energy field holds. Many people come to me talking about their jobs as well. Oh, I don't find joy in my job. My job is so boring. I wish to release my job. I want to do something else because, this is not exciting enough for me. And I constantly remind people, don't look for excitement outside. All the excitement right here. There is nothing outside which is steady. If you are going to be in a state of joy within, outside, something or the other will keep bringing you joy. But if from frustration, if from boredom, you're going to look for other parts, other joys, other careers, other jobs, whatever it is, you will soon find that you're back to square one. Whatever new, whatever excitement you got from this new thing is going to be over in a few days. Why? Because that's your energy. If your energy is of discontentment has to be there. It can't be that it won't show up in another place. So rather than looking for a job, for a new job right away, I always tell people, firstly, come into gratitude for everything that this job brings to you. Maybe it brings you money. Maybe it brings you a lot of friends. Maybe you like the colleagues that you're working with. Whatever it is, be in appreciation for what this job of yours is bringing to you. Instead of the have not, pay all your attention to the have, and you will find that you will be easier in the day as you do your daily job. It won't be so burdenous, it won't be so cumbersome for you to do that same job the more you shift your focus to thankfulness. So as I look at boredom in people, even if to do with job, sometimes people will take on their hobby as their job because a hobby is something that they love. And so they'll be like, no, I don't want to do that anymore, what I'm doing, but I'm going to take this hobby on as my job. Okay, great. But you haven't changed your energy, have you? So anything that you love so much soon will now become a tool for some other emotion to play out. And if you haven't released your disappointments, your discontentment, then very soon this hobby itself might become the very reason, the very tool for your discontentment as well. So boredom, I know that this topic came to me yesterday. I said, okay, I haven't addressed this topic per se, but I laughed because when I receive a topic, I simply look underneath to see, okay, When I talk of this topic, where does the solution lie? And if the solution is lying in lack and discontentment, well, this topic has been discussed a few hundred times already. You know how to work through lack. You know how to recognize the energies now. The energy of discontentment is simply a frequency. If you're sitting in it, it's okay. You can sit in it, you can feel that dissatisfaction completely, and then you don't have to sit in it anymore. But firstly, before you do anything else, you have to accept. And the easiest way to accept it is to understand it's simply a frequency, it's an energy vibration, and you've picked it up as easily as you can drop it. So then, only when you are able to accept that you picked up a frequency, all right, all hell hasn't broken loose. So as all comes into your awareness, then and only then can you shift from that energy of boredom. The best way to shift into the energy of boredom, as I mentioned, come into gratitude, but center yourself in it. As you make a list of all that you are grateful for, everything around you should be part of your list. Everything that you have received, yes, you are grateful for. Everything that you haven't received, that's the expanded gratefulness list. It must be part of your gratitude. As you become more and more grateful without judgment of your life, then more gratitude is shown to us by the universe. When things happen in more gratitude, how will the life shape out? It's very obvious, but it will be without the boredom. When the life is constantly showing you miracles, miracles are not, it's not without design. No miracle is a coincidence. I constantly tell people we don't know the design, but it's all the design of our very own frequencies. And so, as we shift our frequency every day, we're going to be able to see the miracle in the smallest of things. The same sunrise every day, the same sundown every day. But each time you look at it with gratitude, you're going to find it's not the same old, same old. It's not so boring. It's going to be so beautiful. It'll be looked at by you with a fresh pair of eyes, the eyes that are soaked in gratitude. So as you do more and more gratitude, you will find that this boredom slowly eases away. And if it's not going away completely, fully, then understand underneath that boredom is some kind of sadness. Address that sadness. It's the sadness of separation. Come into oneness, that sadness will disappear. Will you ever feel bored after that? Maybe, maybe not. But you will know how to change your energy very quickly. It's so funny because I was again telling, even at the beginning of this webinar, every single Saturday I come and talk over here. Isn't that so boring? It should be, but it's not. Because when I come over here and I'm chatting with you, I have the same four things to say. The universe is playing in your favor. Remember that. It's your energy at all times. Remember that. You can shift your energy, but first accept that. Do I have anything else to say? No, not really. And yet, you come here and I'm here. But why is that? Because it's the masti that is within. It's my masti that's bringing you here. It's my masti that you wish to feed on. And so you do that. There is no boredom over here. But why? Only because the boredom is not of outside. I center myself in masti. And so now, as you are taking these exact same energies, you are going to center yourself in masti as well. Then whether I come here on Saturdays or not, it is going to be only masti for you when you are centered in that emotion. If you make me the tool for your masti, then for the 3 weeks that I don't come on, you are going to be sitting in so much boredom on a Saturday. So anyways, so just to understand that the boredom is not outside, it's within, and it's only a frequency. You can shift that frequency, Just as you change so many others, the frequency of discontentment, the frequency of dissatisfaction, and sometimes the frequency of sadness is what is causing the boredom in you. Take a look, take a deeper look, and you will be able to see how to release easily. Each time it happens, accept and release. Any questions for me at this point in time? It's too much of fun, says Dipali. Okay, all right. Anybody else has any questions for me? All right. So then here we go. This is an easy peasy short session. Let's go straight to the meditation. Again, how many questions will you have, right? I mean, I have the same four things to say. Om Namah Shivaya. Okay, just take a deep breath in. And center yourself in the frequency of Meenal. I am Meenal. I take energy from Meenal, from my heart to yours. This beautiful energy of abundance flowing. My heart to yours, your heart to mine. This beautiful energy of abundance in a free flow. Any other thoughts, any other emotions in this moment out. You're simply focused, centered in this energy of abundance. And as you sit in this beautiful energy of abundance, centered in this frequency, now take a look at boredom. Take a look at boredom wherever you have felt boredom in your life. It could be an aspect of your life, such as your career, some relationships. Even if those relationships are not there anymore, if you have felt that heaviness of boredom, of a stagnating relationship, then look at it right now. Experience that boredom fully for the next 2 minutes. The energy that you hold right now is Meenal. But in the next 2 minutes, experience that boredom. You might have felt it before. And today, you bring your attention back to that boredom. In a relationship, in a job, with yourself, feeling so purposeless, without any reason to exist. No purpose for you at all. And you are feeling that purposelessness. You are not feeling as if you have any reason to exist. Everything is so boring. And right now, simply for these 2 minutes, experience that boredom. It's okay to experience that boredom. We don't have to run away from anything. You have no reason, you have no purpose. Your life is without a meaning. And that too is okay to experience. And when you are done with the experience, maybe you didn't even go into it because the energy of Meenal is bringing you into so much masti. And this is okay too. Everything simply an experience. In the energy of abundance, in the energy of masti, even right now, as your life feels totally purposeless, totally useless, with no great meaning, and yet you can smile because there is joy within. Centering yourself in the joy within. If purpose, so what? If no purpose, so what? In the knowing that every breath of yours, every experience of yours is the only purpose of life. This is your knowing. And as you go through every experience, small or big, purposeless, you are. In joy, you are. In love with yourself, you are. In abundance, you are. And happily accepting your purposelessness, you are. Thank the boredom for bringing you to all of these experiences of discontentment, dissatisfaction, even sadness. But today, you know. And so simply thank the boredom for existing. At any point in time now, in future, if you go through boredom, if you think that your life is stagnating, simply understand it's not about your life. It's simply the frequency that you are sitting in. Maybe the frequency of frustration, maybe the frequency of discontentment. And simply release that frequency. I am Meenal. I take energy from Meenal. I am joy. Om Mani. Okay, everyone. Lots and lots of love to all of you. Enjoy, enjoy. The next time your children come to you with boredom, now you know. You don't have to run from them. You don't have to feel scared. Oh God, now what all do I have to do for them? Before you do anything for them, you have to do for yourself. You have to look within, you have to clear your energy, and all will take care of itself. Lots and lots of love to everybody. Bye bye.
Love. Bye.
Thank you.